Hello everyone.
All right.
Today in this channel we have a special guest, our beloved Clashman community manager, answering questions I gathered from the community.
Sweet. Hi, everyone. I bet you didn't expect me on the channel.
Okay, so starting with the generals, what are the team's plans and goals before 2022, and how do you see the game by the end of this year?
Oh man. So team goals. I mean, to be honest, we really only have one goal. Let's be honest, and that's to get the game in the best shape possible for all of you and kind of release it globally. I think that's the goal with every Supercell game. In the end of the day, but in order to get to global, we kind of need to develop a bunch of features and a bunch of other stuff to kind of have people be able to play the game long term. Because as you may have noticed, the game is kind of you can sort of quote unquote beat the game pretty quickly at this stage. So we kind of have ways to go to introduce new features and new minis and other stuff that people can use to kind of play the game long term. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, our overall goal for 2022 is to get the game into a shape where people are happy with long term and really enjoy playing it every day and have something to do every day. So
yeah. Basically, the goal for is to make a game that will be played for years and remembered forever.
exactly,
I've seen that
that's our
before.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
mission statement, right? Like that's the we will not be playing we will not be making a game that's like just one off quick quick gameplay and then just leave it. So once we create a new game team, that game team sticks with the game all the way until we consider it to go global. And if it does go global, then we kind of stick around with it for a very long time, as you can see with like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the second question was asked by Junpei from Supercell.
Ooh.
What's your favorite hero and mini?
I mean, to be honest, it changes all the time. Every update, I have like a change of heart. But I mean, I think consistently, I keep coming back to the Archer Queen. I've been playing Archer Queen for a long time, and even before beta, when we were playtesting every day in the office. And the reason is because I really love AD carry kind of heroes, like ranged physical damage, sniper, bow and arrow kind of heroes. I always play those. If you have one of
Yeah,
those in your game, I'm gonna always play those.
yeah.
So I
I'm on
really
the
love the
same boat.
yeah, and so like every time I go, every time there is a game that has like an archer, I just choose archer. Like so, basically my best combo is like archer queen and archer, right now. That's like also archer queen and magic archer, like the second best choice to me. So yeah, I really do enjoy those. No matter what, I always have like a deck. My deck number 3 is like a permanent deck that I never change, and that's like a archer queen and magic archer and archer and a bunch of ranged damage minis, which are just like basically hoping that the melees don't come fast enough, so we can just unleash the full potential of that deck. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you remember that Instagram post you did a week or two earlier about the early footage?
Mm-hmm.
Can we expect more of that?
Yes. So basically, that clip came from our artist who worked. You saw him. His name is Didi. You saw him in one of the mini minutes where I introduced some of the team members, and he showed me this clip, and I really wanted to share because it's hilariously old, and it was a prototype. So I have a few more clips of the prototypes, but the thing is, they're not really consistently spaced out. So there is some clips that are like 5 days after that clip, or some that is so prototypey that it's really like embarrassing to show. So let's say there is a lot of things that I need to kind of sift through to be able to kind of judge what we can I mean, what would be interesting to show, right? Like, I had a bunch of other clips, but I think this one was very interesting because there's a bunch of minis that are not in the game. And that just shows how fast we can cut things and how much we can change things up. So yeah, I will try my best to reveal some early footage, but I can't promise when. But yeah, and also I will try not to do it in Instagram stories because I know that not everybody uses Instagram and that those go away in 24 hours. So if you haven't seen it, I can probably try to create like a permanent story archives for people to see the old school version permanently. But yeah, I'll play around with it for sure.
Yeah, very happy with that. I don't use Instagram. Anyway, this one is gonna be a little long, so bear with me. When the game came out, my father installed it and tried it, okay? So he was concerned about the real-time control issue and thought the game will not go global because of it. Because unlike Clash Royale, there is no interactive gameplay. You play stuff for 10 seconds and watch for 40 seconds, which might not appeal to younger audience like teenagers or young adults. Will the core gameplay stay the same way it is, or will something like skills or hero gadgets be added and can be activated in the Clash phase?
I don't know. I mean, I think like right now we don't really have that specific plan. Like, I think the team before I joined Supercell did try this, and I think I'm not sure what the conclusion was. Probably the best person would be to ask is Fan because he's been since the beginning of the project here. But I don't think so. I think what the game is missing is just more minis that can do different cool things at the specific times. Like I think Clash abilities are very exciting, and I think if we get more minis that can do different things at a different time, and you know exactly when that time is, and I think that gives a lot control to people. So I think that is the way that we are going to try to go for at least for a while. But obviously, you can never say never. I can't predict what future like 10 updates are going to be, right? Like it's if people really are like telling us that like you need more interactive features during combat, then yeah, sure. But to be honest, I have not seen that much feedback of like, oh, I want to do this and this. I mean, yes, of course, I've read like all the Reddit and Discord posts of like, you know, like give me the button to trigger my super and all that kind of stuff. But it's not like overwhelming, right? Like I don't think it's kind of like 100% of the people really want this. So it's kind of we just need to kind of keep monitoring and see how things go down the line. So yeah, that's kind of our current stance.
It's worth mentioning he might not be familiar with the auto chess genre, I think. So maybe that's why he thought that way. Okay, now
yeah, I think. Yeah, no, I mean just to like also like reiterate, like again, yes, we're making the game that's accessible and played by a lot of people, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be liked by the whole world, right? Like that is that's impossible thing to do, right? Like you can't be making a game that's played by 100% of the world. So yeah, there's going to be some people that are just simply turned off by the fact that they don't have anything to interact with. But I think the fact that people are learning after each round and they're changing their strategy and they have opportunity to kind of see it executed without any interruption is also very enjoyable. So that's something that also like we need to strike a balance and kind of make sure that is also preserved. So yeah.
Okay, now moving on to more important stuff, which in my opinion might happen before global. The community has been asking a lot about a matchmaking fix. So trophies are more skill-based than whoever plays the most gets the most. Something like legendary divisions for more fair play. When and how will this be addressed?
So yeah, we just finished recording Small Talk, which is going to be addressing kind of trophy situation and what's going to happen to the rank overall. So I think that is going to address some of it. So wait, please stand by for a week or so until Small Talk is out. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but it takes a little bit of editing. But yeah, anyway, I think trophy inflation is going to be dealt with. And also, we know that matchmaking isn't perfect. Obviously, we did try to introduce more of a matchmaking that considers hero level into the overall matchmaking. So I think like the players that are not legendary or like a very high leagues have much better experience now. But of course, when you get to the very top of the leaderboards, it's really hard to make sure that absolutely everyone is exact same level and everybody has exact same trophies because again the game is in beta and there's limited amount of players that are actually playing the game at that moment. So yeah, we're definitely aware of it and we're going to try our best to kind of over time fix this because it's not like a one-off fix. So there's going to be a bunch of patches that are going to be addressing this slowly.
Okay, so something else about ladder. People don't want to push for numbers. They want something to encourage them. Like, is there any plans for trophy road and end of season rewards, stuff like badges, maybe icons or anything? How important is this, and when can we expect it?
Yeah, so we've been talking about this. We actually do want people to unlock more stuff on the trophy road. Well, we don't have a trophy road, right? But on the leagues page. So we do like the idea to unlock certain things at a certain level of a league that you are at. So we're gonna try to experiment with that, but I don't know when exactly can we do that. But it's definitely coming. We're trying to kind of get that into the game and try more because we are like okay, yeah. I mean, we have done not a great job at like explaining that you actually unlock a banquet hall when you rank up, right? Like the indicator that shows that you have unlocked a new battle board on that screen is really hard to like discover. so we are aware that like the user experience on that is for sure lacking. So we're gonna try our best to improve that and give more stuff to be unlocked through that page.
I don't even remember an indicator or something. Anyway, speaking of ranked achievements and unlocking stuff on Trophy Road, ever thought of distributing minis and heroes into arenas for the sake of simplicity and to give sense of accomplishment to new players?
Yeah, we did. We are also going to potentially experiment with that as well. Having some kind of theme where, like, you know, if you unlock a certain map, then you get like a set of things that you can find and unlock and upgrade and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're considering that as well. It's just a matter of like prioritization, like when do we actually implement it into the game. So yeah, we really want to kind of have more. We want to give back agency to the players in terms of when do they unlock and what do they unlock and how do they unlock it, instead of just having everything random out of the box. So that's the mindset that we are having right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like 6 years ago in Clash Royale, like the most interesting and something people were excited about was like unlocking Wizard or Hog Rider, getting through the arena for new cards. Yeah, that was good. Okay, now as far as I know, season will last for like 60 days, right?
Ideally, yes. Except season, this current season is going to last much longer because we need more time to develop season 2. So I don't have exact timeline when season 2 is going to begin, but yeah, right now it's January 13th. So I would say you have at least a one more month to go through this one because we simply need more time to introduce more features as well. And the Royal Champion and Musketeer and Prince update and Clashmas update overall, it was kind of in between, kind of quick content drop, but it's not intended to be like that. So as I said, once season 2 begins, we will try to keep consistent and having each season last for 60 days, or at least 2 months, yeah.
Now the question is, will balance changes come every season, or will they be less or more frequent?
That I don't know. We will have to go and ask Fan. I would expect them to be seasonal, unless things are really broken. I feel like we also don't want to be changing the balance way too often for the sake of like people having impression of something being broken. Like for example, on TikTok, I'm getting constant comments for some reason that Miner is like needs a nerf, but like I feel like he's just fine, right? So it's like those are kind of like things that like people have like impressions of, but we are seeing on our data side of things that like these things are pretty much on point in terms of balance when players are playing against each other. So yeah, I personally, I'm a fan of having seasonal balance changes. But again, as I said, we may introduce some balance changes on and off if those are really necessary. But Fan is constantly watching the balance of the live game and making sure that things are looking good. So I trust him on that front.
I'll be honest, that was really bold of you to ask me about Miner because I'm an Archer Queen player, so I'm biased. Miner is broken. No, I don't want Miner. Okay.
I know, yeah.
Okay, now I see crystal coins as like star points in Brawl Stars, but the main difference between them is star points can get you multiple things, but crystal coins are just for skins only. Will that be changed, or will they be just cosmetic use only?
I mean, for now they're cosmetic, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We can easily introduce more stuff to be done with the crystal coins, but you haven't also seen the full source of crystal coins that we want to reveal in the small talk. So basically, in the upcoming small talk, we're going to be exactly talking about the sources of the crystal coins and also what's the philosophy behind that and how can you get more of them. So I would prefer for you guys to see that small talk first and then judge on, and also of course like having more options for crystal coins and aiming for a certain skin would be pretty cool. I feel like that is something that I am a huge fan of, like getting more crystal coins and then finally getting that awesome skin that you have like multiple choices to choose from, and kind of choose it for your favorite mini or choose the crazy one that's very expensive and stuff like that. So yeah, let's wait and see until small talk 3 and then see how people react.
Yeah, I personally use them for cosmetic anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, many people asked about battle logs and replays, which is an important feature in my opinion. It helps with spotting mistakes and analyzing gameplay. How prioritized are replays, battle logs, and spectating? And will we ever see mini TV to watch professional games or something like that?
Yeah, I remember you wanted also to ask about esports, and I can answer both of those, I guess. So we don't overlap later. But yeah, I mean, okay, replays are actually really complex feature if you build them from scratch for a brand new game. It involves a lot of work in the kind of a back end of the game, and having the ability to have like a replay history and spectating. Spectating is also another whole thing. Like spectating live versus watching the replay is a whole new can of worms that you open up when you start developing. So there's a lot of things that need to be considered that way. So I don't think that these. Yes, we know that this is like requested and people really want this. And I knew that even before we deployed the mini rooms. So I knew that like the next step is going to be, all right, mini rooms are here, now give me spectator mode. Now give me more custom options for this hero level adjustment, for whatever, like for the map choice, stuff like that. Like I knew that is all going to come immediately when you open up the mini room feature to everyone, and we really want to do battle logs and replays, especially because yes, people can learn, but I really think that like we need just more content and more things to kind of do on a daily basis for people to just enjoy the game, rather than just like, oh, let me watch my replay of a match that looked exactly the same as my previous 10 of them, right? So I really want to kind of diversify the game first, and then kind of add these kind of features down the line, right? Like when we have more time to kind of add those and sprinkle them on top of really, really cool content that you can do every day and enjoy the game every single day.
Yeah, it's kind of like how when the game wasn't out, everyone was asking when beta, but when it was out, the exact same moment, people are asking for global.
Exactly,
Whatever you will
yeah.
give people, they will ask for more. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, esports, like I personally don't see, I mean, our game it doesn't look like an esport. Like it looks like a little casual kind of like board game from like a average viewer. But that doesn't mean that we don't want competitive play in some way. But I think we want to also flip it upside down and kind of like break a lot of the rules and expectations that people have in terms of like the esports that have been done before so far. I think like having these kind of formats and these kind of like official super serious commentating situations, I'm not a fan of too much, especially for Clash Mini, because it's such a you know, adorable game. Like I cannot imagine having like a Clash Mini esports event or competitive event that actually where everybody's like putting on their serious face. So I think on the esports side of things, I really want to kind of see what we can do differently, and that's gonna take some time. We may
okay, now if you want to introduce competitive, you probably need to get rid of RNG, of like the mini P.E.K.K.A critical hit or random dart goblin stunts. Are those planned to be removed or will they stay?
So here's the thing. Life is full of random events all the time. Like a lot of things you can't predict. If you had a life where you can predict exactly what's going to happen every single time without any failure, how exciting would that be? I feel like a little bit of randomness inside of a game is always exciting because that can surprise you. That can make you think, to not rely too much on it, but also to maybe, you know, hope for it. That is something that also can create some really exciting content. I've seen a lot of TikToks where like, you know, P.E.K.K.A crits and like wins a match last second, and those kind of moments are really exciting to me. I'm not saying that we'll 100% keep it as it is, but I do really like, and I think some of the team members also like that kind of randomness factor, because I really believe that if the game would consistently have like all the numbers guaranteed all the time, it would create a less of an sort of not, I mean, the word is not really exciting, but like enjoyable, kind of unpredictable situations that you can expect, right? Like so it's always kind of a double-edged sword when you say critical chance increase and all that kind of stuff. Like, what do you really mean by that? So yeah, and at the same time, since the game really wants to appeal to a wider audience that is not really kind of min-maxing every single deck and making sure that everything is like consistent, I think that's also enjoyable. So we need to strike a balance, but yeah, we'll be monitoring. Like we'll be monitoring more of the feedback and see how people really feel about this. I have obviously already mentioned that to the team. Yeah, you know, it's like I already mentioned to the team. It's like, hey, here is a Photoshop of a person fixing, quote unquote, you know, like all of our abilities. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can do that, but you know, try to play such a game, right? Like try to actually have like everything 100% consistent, and you're gonna have still potentially less fun. And you know, like why people watch sports, because they don't know what's gonna exactly happen with these players and what they're gonna do next. So it's again, it's a balance that we really want to strike, and also just keep monitoring what people are saying, because we have plenty of time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you planning on releasing like challenges or global tournaments like how in Clash Royale to add something for the player to look forward to?
Yeah, I think like challenges are really fun. I think like those kind of long, sort of like very hard quests. Basically, you know, that's all they are. You know, kind of like you have like really hard thing to try to strive for and try and do it is really interesting to us. So we'll try to do more of that.
I wasn't talking about the quests. I meant
I know,
like
I know you were not talking about quests. I was talking about like
Yes.
challenges and how we would implement challenges potentially in our game.
Okay.
And the easiest way would be to create like a challenge quest, right? And then have people kind of try and accomplish it and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, we do really want to have something that the people can kind of go for and in the long term. So yeah.
Okay, now clans, the big feature everyone is waiting for. Will they play an important role, or will they just be social feature?
They will not be only social feature.
Okay,
That's all I can say. That's basically all I can say right now. But yeah, clans will not be only social feature. We don't want you to just have a chat and that's it. So there's going to be something cool inside.
Boring, actually, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We will have something really cool inside. So yeah.
Okay, now moving to potential additions and future ideas. Are the team having hard time balancing because of the small numbers? Brawl Stars was like that in beta and changed. Thought of using bigger numbers to like less impactfully remove and add one from damage or HP has ever crossed to the team?
Yes, we actually did discuss this even before the beta went out. You know, do we times 10 the numbers? Do we times 100 the numbers and stuff like that? But I don't think so far we have a major need to do so. But again, you know, things may change over time. So I think fans are going to be closely monitoring that situation and adjust. And I think if we do 10x everything, that will also require some work. So we would have to be careful about doing that. So far, the small numbers are working because we like small numbers because we're a tiny game. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Is there any plans on like one Elixir skeleton or any mini at 1 Elixir or 5 Elixir or higher? And how impactful do you think it is for a normal player and for the competitive scene?
We'll probably play around with those, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really hurt us to just try it out and see how it plays. So we'll try it internally, see how it feels, how it plays. And if it does feel good, we'll make some of those like official. But yeah, it also depends. if you really want to kind of keep them,
Yeah, like
you know, like because it takes one deck slot, right? Like so you need to be. It would create some really interesting decks for sure. So yeah, again, nothing is off the table, but we need to kind of test it internally first to see how it feels and how it plays until we kind of commit and actually create something official.
Yeah, the main problem I see with this is how unpopular 3 Elixir Minis are because of this awkward 1 Elixir that stays at the end of the round, like the last round. Yeah, people seem to avoid them for that reason.
Well, let's say that that's not the majority, right? Like I think like the moment you go down the ladder and look at non-competitive players, they don't really have a strong emotions about having 1 Elixir left, you know?
Yeah, they don't think that far, yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's like we need to consider the 98% the rest of the community that actually plays the game as well. Yeah.
How prioritized are new game modes like 2v2, double elixir, or sudden death? You know,
We really want to have more game modes. It's just a matter of like when do we have enough time to do so. We're still a pretty small team, so it's really hard to kind of have like one person continuously work on a new game mode all the time. So yeah, we will definitely come to it. It's just a matter of time.
I remember one of the team, might have actually been you, mentioned that Supercell Make is planned after Global. Will it be only skins, or can it also include boards or even new minis and heroes?
I mean, it could be. Why not, right? Like, I don't know. I think Supercell Make is obviously a global feature because it involves a lot of moving parts. But our game is perfectly made for Supercell Make, don't you think? Like, making a mini in Blender is awesome because all of our minis are made in Blender. And Blender is a free tool. A lot of people can use it. A lot of people can learn it. So that could be a really, really high opportunity to kind of create something really cool. Other than just mini skins, right? So I can imagine that totally happening. But we need to kind of figure out how would it work, right? Like, you know, how would that work for a whole new board? You know, how do we slot it into the game? Like, where does that show up? How does that work? You know, there's a lot of questions we need to answer before that. And of course, in the first question is the game going global? So I think let's worry about Supercell Make once we're in that good spot to be even able to consider it. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. Okay, what are the chances of Sandbox Mode where we place blue and red minis or tiles and press clash to test interactions?
I'm not sure how much. I mean, obviously, it will be convenient. I know that. But
Yeah.
At the same time, you have a mini room. You can just do it with your friend and just test something. Because mini rooms don't really impact anything. But yeah, I like that idea. I just don't know how much of an urgent need it is, right? Like it's one of those things that's like a nice to have. Right?
Exactly, it's like nice to have, but nowhere near urgent.
Yeah, basically.
As other things, yeah. Okay, now, since they were added to Clash of Clans and Clash Royale and Clash Quest, magic items has been a staple of the Clash universe. Will they ever make their way to Clash Mini, and how do you think they would work?
Oh man, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, the first question is, would they make it? And then the second question is how they would look like, and that's a interesting thing to think about, but potentially, like, there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of modify your minis and sort of, you know, change up the way they behave and all that stuff. So we do really, you know, if you're looking into the game that is going to run for like 10, 20, 30 years into the future, of course you would have to introduce something for the heroes and minis to kind of keep them, have some modifiers, have some things that are going to kind of give more options for people to change things up. But I think like the higher priority is also to diversify people's decks. So having just more minis and more heroes is probably much more safer way to go right now. So then, once we have enough like of a roster, like just of minis and heroes, then we can consider like how do we modify them further? How do we extend that gameplay, right? Like the magic items or you know the gadgets from Brawl Stars and stuff like that.
Okay, now for the next question, something a little bit controversial. Air troops. Now, I know 1 million killing a whole pick on Barbarian King on round 1 is really bad, and it would suck for some decks that don't have enough, like, air counter.
Right.
Is the team testing out the concept, maybe make flying a timed super or something? What's your stand on it?
I don't know. I mean, that's also like a very much of a fan question. I think you would love to see eventually air units, maybe some minis that are kind of like go up in the air for a certain amount of time and then go down and stuff like that. That would be interesting. There are ways to solve it. It's not like, oh Lord, Baby Dragon is now killing everyone.
Yeah,
There's no counter at all.
Annoying,
yeah. So Yeah, I mean, I can see air happening at some point, but it has to be balanced, right? Like, no matter what you do, like if you introduce such a unit, you would have to basically bring things into the game where like you can have a deck that can counter that in some way.
Yeah, okay, now if we ever got Giant or Hog Rider, for example, will they target normally or specifically target things like heroes, for example?
I mean, yeah, we will play around with like we are already playing around with minis that have a certain target priority, as you know. Healing Ranger targeting the furthest ally, stuff like that. So I can see that happening. I can see like a new mini doing a certain ability that is targeted at specific kinds of minis and stuff like that. So yeah, I would not take it off the table for sure.
Yeah, it would be really weird to see a Giant punching a mini P.E.K.K.A, to be honest. Not used to that. Not used to that. Okay. Any plans for like temporary troops, like how in Clash of Clans they add the Royal Ghost for Halloween and the Party Wizard for the anniversary and then take them away completely?
You know,
Until
that would
next
be
year?
really cool. Yeah. That would be really cool. I would love to see that. I will go to Fan after this call and go to him and tell him we should do this. And then his reply is probably going to be, how about you let me make more minis that are permanent and then worry about seasonal minis when we are global?
Yeah, of course. That's
Because, you know, how much of a priority is it to create a character that shows up like in all the 12 months, shows up in 1 month versus a mini that you can play all the time is the question. So I can totally see seasonal characters happening if the game goes global. Like I would definitely love to see that, and maybe even see some concepts from the players to see like what they would like to see as well. So yeah, I would definitely not take it off the table later down the line.
Okay, great. This wraps it up. Thank you so much for making the time to come on the channel.
No worries. Thank you so much for a call. That was a lot of questions. Like I remember originally when you sent me the list, I was like, whoa, like that's a lot of stuff. But it was really fun. Hopefully people do get to hear it. So yeah, and I'll talk to you, all of you, on Discord and Reddit as usual. So I'll be hanging around for you.
I'll be honest, I expected half of the questions to be ruled out.
Don't worry, there's no such a thing as a hard question. I think like we just need to be simply honest with people and just tell them what your point of like line of thinking is right now. Like it's very simple. So I don't really, as you've seen also, I like to face criticism and questions right on, like especially on Reddit. I like to just jump in and just comment by myself and answer some of those things, and also on Twitter as well. So yeah, it's always fun.
Okay, guys, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to stay posted about the latest Clash Mini updates and videos. Like the video if you did and dislike it if you didn't. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.